Hi, good morning from Houston, Texas. My name is Brandy Yale. I'm the Director of Graduate Admissions for the Cullen College of Engineering at University of Houston. I'm really glad that you could all be here today. I hope to be able to answer some of the questions you have about University of Houston and about the College of Engineering. So the way this is going to work is I'm going to go through a really brief presentation. It should only take a few minutes. And then we're going to move to the question and answer session, and I will answer any questions that you ask to the best of my ability. And hopefully point you towards any resources that you might need to make your journey to Houston and your enrollment into classes as smooth as possible. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to share my screen with you, and that way you'll be able to see the presentation that I'm going to provide. Okay. So, as I said, my name is Dr. Brandy Yale. We're really excited that you're all coming to the University of Houston. And we hope that we will be able to make this journey as smooth as possible as you're coming here. We want to make sure that you have all of your questions answered. And so today I'm going to give a very brief presentation. I'm going to skip over some of the topics that I covered in the last two and focus just on I-20 processing, getting the holds removed from your account, and some of our on-campus resources that you'll have here. I'm hoping to keep this presentation very short because I really want to get to your questions. So Houston, Texas is the fourth largest city in the United States. It's known by many nicknames, one of which is the energy capital of the world. We're also known as Space City and Bayou City. And so really, Houston is a very large city. It's a very urban place, and our campus is very close to downtown. And so there's a lot of opportunity here for engineers to find work, to find internship experiences, and also to enjoy themselves while they're here in Houston. So the University of Houston is a Tier 1 public research university. We were founded in 1927. The campus is pretty large. It's very beautiful. It's when you're on campus, you can hardly believe that you're so close to downtown because we do have a very park-like campus with lots of fountains, lots of trees. Houston is a sort of subtropical climate, so it's green here year-round, and our weather is usually very nice in the winter, though it does get very hot in the summer. Right now, we are having a very hot spring, with temperatures reaching around 95 degrees Fahrenheit this whole week. So it's unusually hot for us here, and we're expecting a hot summer. So when you arrive in July or August, it will be humid and hot, but you quickly move into fall, and then it'll be wonderful weather for the rest of the school year. Okay, so let's move into some of the things that I know that you guys have questions about. The first is I-20 documents for international students. Hopefully most of you have received your I-20s by now. I do know that there are still some that are being processed. If you haven't already, make sure that you accept your admissions offer in the application system so that we can start preparing your document. Once you've said you're coming and submitted the documents that are listed here on this slide, we will start processing your I-20, and usually the turnaround time on that is anywhere from a few days to a week, depending on how much review is required of your documents and if any issues are encountered with the SEVIS system when we're trying to prepare your I-20 document. The required documents are a copy of your passport, the page that has your picture on it, and then a letter of financial backing, which is a document that we provide on our website. You can find this document on the graduate school's website. Or if you're confused, please email me and I'll send you the link to it. And then you need your supporting documents, which are bank statements or your loan letter, whatever it is that you're using to show that you have financial backing to last 1 year of study. For PhD students who are receiving full funding, you will only need to submit a copy of your passport. If you're a student who's receiving partial funding, that amount will be taken out of what you need to show in your financial backing. So if you need more information on this process, here's a link. There's the link to the website so that you can go to the graduate school's website under their International Students tab. There's a lot of information about the F1 process. And then you can also contact myself or your department advisor, or you can email the graduate school at gradschool@uh.edu. After you receive your I-20, the next step is to set up your MyUH account. You will need your I-20 in hand, or at least your SEVIS ID number from your I-20 before you can set up your MyUH account. My UH system is where you're going to see the class schedule, find out if you have any holds on your account, and eventually register for classes. So it's very important that you get this set up as soon as possible so you can see if you have any enrollment holds on your account. And if you have any questions about those, you can also email me. I'm going to go through what our most common account holds are and let you guys know how you can take care of these holds. So the first one is the international check-in and orientation hold. All international students are required to both check in and attend the orientation sessions. So the check-in is usually pretty quick. They'll go over your immigration documents to make sure that you have everything required and that you are that your status is good so that you can start classes. You also have to attend an orientation. The International Student Orientation is a 2-day orientation where they provide a lot of information. It's very important to attend this because you want to make sure that you maintain status while you're here in the United States, and we want to make sure that you have all the information you need to be successful here. The International Student Check-in Hold, I believe that it will not prevent you from initial registration, but it will prevent you, if you don't attend these sessions, you won't be able to register for coming semesters. Next most common hold is the prior degree verification hold. This means that we need to verify that you have a bachelor's degree before you can enroll in graduate level courses. In order to do this, we need the official sealed hard copies of transcripts. So these need to be sealed by your university and sent to UH directly from your university. In some cases, we can accept sealed envelopes that have been stamped by the university that you bring yourself, but preferably they will be sent by your university. If you need more information about which exact documents you need, you can go to the admissions transcript page on the graduate school's website. They have a drop-down box where you select which country you're from, and it tells you specifically which documents you need. And I'm going to go over the most common ones for international students on the next slide. For domestic students, the main thing you need to remember is that you have to wait until your degree has been conferred on your transcript before you submit the official transcript. This is so that we can verify that you actually have received the degree. So if you have already sent us an official transcript from your university, you may have to submit another one if you have just graduated. So these are the two largest international student groups that we have and what documents are required. For Indian transcripts, we need the individual mark sheets from all semesters, including all attempts of each class. And we do need these in hard copy, preferably in a sealed and stamped envelope from your university, with a provisional or final degree certificate, whichever one that you currently have. Most students are able to go to their university and request certified copies of these to be sent from their university directly to UH. And just remember that if these are certified or attested copies, they have to be attested by the issuing university, and they have to be attested by a registrar, not a principal or other school official. Next, we have the Chinese transcripts. For Chinese transcripts, you need a transcript of all semesters attended, your graduation certificate, and your degree certificate in both the original language and then also each document translated into English, preferably by your university. If you need any help with figuring out how to get these translations or how to get your transcripts, please let me know. We do also have a electronic way of submitting these these transcripts through the application system, so you can let me know if you need help with that as well. And to continue with the account holds that you might see on your account, if you're under 22 years of age, you might have a bacterial meningitis immunization hold. In order to get rid of this hold, you need to get the immunization and then upload proof that you received the immunization to MyUH. And we have very detailed instructions about exactly what types of immunizations work and also how to upload the proof of your immunization. So if you need help with this, please let me know. If you're going to be 22 by August 20th or on August 20th, then you do not need to get any sort of immunizations and you don't have to show us any proof of anything. Finally, another common hold is the academic advisor hold. This is placed by your department. So you need to contact them to find out how you get this hold removed from your account. Most likely you will need to attend orientation or an advising session before you enroll in courses. I know that the industrial engineering and civil engineering departments both use this hold. Most of our departments do not have, however. So it's going to really depend on which program you're in. And if you do have this hold on your account, email your advisor and ask what it is you need to do in order to get the hold removed and enroll in courses. Here are some important dates to keep in mind as you're thinking about when you're going to arrive at UH and when you're going to enroll in classes. So the first day of classes for fall 2018 is August 20th, and the last day to add a class to your schedule is August 27th. This is a week where you get to decide if you want to switch classes. If there's a class that's full that you really want, a student may drop it during this time and you would be able to add it. And so there's a little bit of shuffling around with courses during that first week of classes, and that's okay. We definitely expect that. The last day for you to drop a course from your schedule without receiving a grade or having it appear on your transcript is September 5th. And so these are some good dates to keep in mind while you're planning out your course enrollment and when you're going to enroll in courses. It's also good to keep in mind that you may not, your first semester, get your dream schedule, the exact courses that you want. And that's because our continuing students have been already registering for classes since April. And so some of those classes may be full, but of course, the next semester, you will be a continuing student and you'll have a better chance at getting the classes that you want. More dates, including our holiday schedule and all of that, can be found on our academic calendar. If you go to uh.edu and scroll all the way to the bottom of the page, there's a link for the academic calendar. It's on every website on uh.edu at the bottom of the page, so it's easy to find. It'll let you know when we have breaks for things like Thanksgiving or Christmas, and what dates final exams are, that sort of thing. So you can definitely look at that calendar to start planning out your semester. This list shows all of the department academic advisors for the graduate programs. And so these are the people that you want to contact if you have questions about your degree plan, about what courses you should take, really anything that's specific to your department, you're going to want to talk to these people. They're going to have the most knowledge about what your degree, especially degree plans and program requirements. So please make sure you get to know these people and that you have emailed them and talked to them about your coursework. If you have any trouble getting a hold of any of your advisors, you can also contact gradschool@uh.edu. This email address leads to a ticket system where other people besides your advisor will see whether or not they have replied to your email and may be able to help you as well. So I have access to all emails that are sent through this system. So sometimes you may send an email to that expecting a reply from someone and then get a reply from me. And then also some of the administrators at the graduate school also answer these emails. So it's good if you're having trouble with getting the answers you need, because many people will be able to see your question and get that answer to you. Okay, and so when you're planning on when you're going to arrive in Houston, there are several things to think about. The first date, the earliest you can arrive is 30 days before the program start date on your I-20. Which I believe is set at August 10th or 11th, somewhere around there. So July 11th is the earliest that you can arrive in the United States. If you arrive before that, you risk losing your status. So make sure that you pay very close attention to when you should arrive in Houston. So the latest you should arrive is the week before classes start. And that is because you need to take care of your international student check-in. You need to attend orientation. We'll also be having department orientations that week. And so it's very important that you're here at least the week before classes start. And as we move through the summer, we will be doing more of these webinars, and I will update the department and college orientation dates as soon as I have them. So now, finally, I just wanted to let you know about some of the fun stuff we have on campus, some of the resources that are available. We have a lot of student organizations. And within engineering, there are multiple national engineering societies that are represented here in our department, in our college. We also have a very active international students organization. And I've listed a couple of the more active cultural student organizations. I really want to recommend that you find these, especially the Graduate Indian Student Organization and the Chinese Student Association. Find their Facebook page and start connecting with them as soon as you can. Look at their websites. They offer, I know for sure the Graduate Indian Student Organization offers airport pickup, and they can help you with finding temporary accommodations for when you first arrive. So it's very good to start making contacts with these organizations so that you can have a smooth transition into the fall semester. We also have a website called Get Involved, which will let you know about volunteering opportunities, student organizations on campus, and that will help you get started meeting people once you arrive here at UH. We also have a really amazing campus recreation center. This picture on the right of this rock wall is actually in the lobby of our recreation center. So it's one of the largest rock walls. It's just absolutely amazing. It's a huge recreation center. Everything you can imagine there. They have both indoor and outdoor pools, indoor and outdoor walking, running tracks, a huge cardio section, a huge weightlifting section. It's a really great resource on campus, and it's included with your student fees, so you should definitely take advantage of this. More ways to meet people once you get to campus are by taking group classes or doing a team sport. We also have a really unique opportunity to do outdoor adventure trips. Now, these do cost a little bit of money, but they allow you to travel around Texas and see some of the beautiful areas in Texas to go hiking and camping and that sort of thing. So definitely take advantage of some of these opportunities through our rec center. Some other on-campus resources I wanted to let you know about is our International Student Scholarship Services Office has an international friendship program. So if you're really wanting to engage with American culture, this is a great opportunity for you. You would meet once per month with a family here in Houston to learn about American culture and practice your English skills. So this is a really great opportunity for students who really want to engage with American culture while they're here. And then finally, we do have a medical center, a health center on campus, as well as a counseling service. And those you need to keep in mind, look up where they are just so you have that in the back of your head in case you ever have an issue that you need help with. And as always, I want to encourage you to like and follow us on social media. When I sent out the invitation to this webinar, I also sent a link to our Cougar Facebook group. So please add that if you have Facebook so that you can ask questions and get to know other new students as well as continuing students that are here. We also have a lot of newsletters. You can get very specific newsletters based on what your major is and what department you're in or what your interests are on campus. In that Facebook group, I have posted a link to this to the sign-up page for newsletters. So that's a good resource for learning about what's going on at the University of Houston. Okay, so next we're going to do our Q&A. If you haven't had a chance yet, please go ahead and type in any questions you have. If there's something I didn't cover that you want to know about, and I will start looking through your questions and answering them. And we'll probably do this for about 30 minutes or so, maybe a little longer if there are a lot of questions. Okay, so let's see our first question. All right. Sorry about that. I'm just waiting for it to load. All righty. Well, this is taking me just a minute to make sure I'm on the right spot. Okay, so while this is loading, I want to just talk to you about some of the types of questions you can ask and what we've been doing on our previous webinars. So if you have questions that are about how the tuition and fee structure works or about your scholarships or funding, you definitely may want to listen to some of the older webinars, webinar 1 and 2 for fall 2018. I talked a lot about the different ways that the fee structures work, the different ways that the scholarships affect how much you're going to pay, how many credit hours you have to take, and that sort of thing. Okay, so our first question is, will design courses like AutoCAD, etc., be taught in the college, or is it better to learn before we come to the US? So that's a very specific question, and I'm not sure what courses like that are taught. You may want to talk to your advisor for your department. We do have a lot of technology-related courses that are taught both within the college and then also through other resources. So our library, for example, has a lot of technology courses. If you wanted to learn something like how to be a pro at Excel or Photoshop, or, they have a lot of different programs. They have some statistical programs like SPSS that they teach. And so there's a lot of opportunities like that around campus where you can find free courses. And I do believe that we have a couple of courses related to specific programs that are used by engineers that are taught every semester. So let me see if I can find that resource for you, and I'll let you know once I find it. The next question is, how do we apply for work study? Is it available for international graduate students for the first semester? So for jobs on campus, you can work starting your first semester in a position on campus. And you apply for those through the Cougar Pathway portal, which once you enroll in courses, you will see that on Access UH, which is the main portal for all of the services that you can access through your student account. And there'll be one that says Cougar Pathway. When you click on that, that's where all of the jobs are posted across campus. And so most of these positions will help you get a little extra money in your pocket. They won't provide you with tuition waivers or anything like that, but they will help you, get some work experience or just help you cover your living expenses while you're here. And so that is available for graduate students, international students in the first semester. I have already set my official transcript. Do I need to take another one, take any other further, or submit another one? So that's going to depend on what was in your official transcript, if it included all of the documents, including the degree conferral and all of that. If you're not sure, please send me an email and I'll look at your account and see what the transcript evaluators have listed as missing on your account, or whether they have said that your file is complete. So yeah, please send me an email and I can look that up for you specifically. But if we do have all the official hard copy transcripts, then you won't need to send them again. Next question is, when is the ideal time to arrive in the United States? And so this is going to depend on a number of factors. Like I said before, you cannot come more than 30 days before your program start date on your I-20. And then you need to think about things like where you're going to stay during that time. If you're planning on living on campus, the dorms will not open until the weekend before classes start. So you're going to need temporary accommodation at least for that week before classes so that you can attend all of your orientations. If you are planning to stay off campus, it may be easier for you to come around the 1st of the month and then the 1st of August and pay for that full month rent. So it really depends on a lot of factors about, how much you can afford to spend on temporary housing and what you want to do before classes start and where you're going to end up living once you arrive here. Does UH provide any travel card or student travel card for commuting in Texas? I'm not aware that they do provide any type of travel card. I actually haven't had that question before, so I can look into that and see if I can find out if that's needed. I know a lot of our students will carry their paperwork with them when they travel, but as long as you're within Texas, you should be fine, or within the United States. If you wanted to go to Mexico, say, we're very close to Mexico, you would definitely want to make sure you take all those immigration documents with you. We have had some students who have traveled to Mexico or to Canada while they're a student here. Okay, I have been given financial support with 12 credits in each term. Is it necessary to take 12 credits to get this award? Yes, it is. If you take fewer than 12 credit hours while you're on the financial support, they will retract it, and you will then have to pay back both the scholarship and the in-state tuition waiver. So please make sure that you are registered for 12 credit hours each term. The next question is, who can we contact as the academic advisor for space architecture? So the academic advisor is the mechanical engineering advisor, Cecily Smith. However, if you have specific questions about coursework for that program, I highly recommend contacting Dr. Olga Benova, as she is the program director for that program and has a lot more individualized experience with the coursework and things. So I would highly recommend contacting her. If you have any trouble contacting either of them, let me know and I'll try to get you in contact. Okay. Hi, I have a domestic degree. I was wondering when I can get the student ID and start using the university rec. Thank you. So if we have already received your degree and you get enrolled in classes, let's see, you should have your student ID. It's on your admissions letter. Once you enroll in classes, you'll also get a CougarNet ID, which is your email address. And I'm not sure when the first date you can use the rec center is, but I imagine it's probably not until the fall semester starts. It may be possible that you can pay to use it over the summer, but since you won't actually be paying the fee to use the rec center until fall, they probably will not let you use it till fall. Will you please discuss medical insurance coverage? So depending on whether or not, if you're an international student, you will be required to have medical insurance. Domestic students are not required to, but they have the option to have medical insurance. And we do have a lot of information about this on the website. If you go to uh.edu and search for insurance, it'll bring you to the page that discusses the type of plans that we offer. So for international students, you're required to have insurance, but you're not required to have our insurance through the university. And you can choose to have insurance outside, you know, maybe from your home country or from another company, but then you have to provide proof that you have that insurance so that we can waive the cost of the UH insurance. The insurance, I believe, is around $1,000 a semester, and so it's not cheap, and you will all be, if you're an international student, you'll automatically be charged for that unless you request the waiver. So if you need more information about the specifics of the medical coverage, I would highly suggest going to the website. They have a pretty good breakdown of the costs and of what's covered. So next question is, I have been admitted to the space architecture program. I want to confirm the current employment opportunities for the program. So I'm assuming you mean after graduation? And I would think that Dr. Olga Benova would be the best person to discuss that with. She's going to have more specific information about space architecture employment. Since for international students who lack U.S. citizenship, companies like NASA and SpaceX doesn't apply. So I don't know specifically which companies take international students. Dr. Benova may know. We also have an engineering career center that works a lot with our international students. They work a lot with the companies here in Houston. They put on a career fair twice a year. And so they can definitely help point you in the direction of companies that hire our international students. And hopefully that, you know, they'll be able to point you in the right direction. Okay. I have already sent my official transcript, but it is not updated in the Plyweb checklist. What should I do? Send me an email at blyale@uh.edu, though I'm assuming you all have my email address at this point. Send me an email and I'll look specifically at your account and let you know what we have or what's needed. It may be that they are still processing your transcript if it was sent recently. I know they're receiving a really high volume right now since we're finalizing admissions for fall. But I can check and see what they have or if there's something else that they need. Can we have visa interview tips? What is the criteria they look on to issue a visa? So not having done it myself, I'm not sure that I'm the best person to give you tips. You may want to talk to some people in our Cougar Facebook page. There are some current students who just went through this last semester and might have some better tips for you guys. But, you know, because you've been admitted to a university, and if all of your paperwork is proper and everything is correct, you shouldn't have an issue. We very rarely have issues with students not receiving a visa. So it should be, as long as everything's in order, you should be absolutely fine. Does Excel, Photoshop, etc. courses include in the fee structure? Do we need to pay? Those are free courses that are offered by the university. I've taken quite a few of them, and they're really good. Let's see. And so they're open to all students, faculty, and staff. So you'll see a mix of students. Most of the people in the courses are usually graduate students from my experience. My admission letter says I'm eligible for in-state waiver. I didn't understand how much scholarship that means. So the scholarship is a $1,000 scholarship, but because you're a scholarship recipient, you're also eligible for in-state, which cuts your tuition in half. So while the scholarship is only $1,000, the actual amount that you're saving is pretty much half of what it would cost to normally attend. If you finish your degree in 1 year, you can have all of your coursework done under the in-state tuition waiver. But though many of our students decide to not take classes in the summer term and instead do an internship, and then if you have to take those courses in the following fall, you'll have to pay out-of-state tuition for those 6 credit hours that are left at that point. If I put a total of 12 credits in my schedule planner and Access UH, will financial award amount be directly reflected in that, or do we have to contact someone personally? So the individual department that each department is processing the scholarships. I believe that the deadline for priority posting of your scholarship is at the end of this month. So most likely, most of you will not see the scholarship on your account yet, but sometime this summer it will show up on your account. And you shouldn't have to contact anyone. Your advisor should be taking care of that for you. But if you do have a question about it, you can contact your department advisor, since it is the departments that will be requesting the scholarship be added to your account. What is the ideal time for class scheduling? So generally, I mean, you want to register as soon as possible. It depends, though, on your department. Some departments, like industrial engineering, will have an advising session with you before they allow you to register for classes. So you won't register until the week before classes start. But they also hold those classes for new students. You know, all new students take the same set of classes. So you won't have any problem getting the courses that you need for your first semester. And then going forward, you'll be told when each semester when the course schedule comes out, and then there'll be a date when you're allowed to start registering. And so the sooner you register, the better chance you have of getting the classes that you want. When are the career fairs usually held? So there's 2. There's a big one in the fall and then a smaller one, or I'm sorry, that's backwards. There's a big one in the spring and a smaller one in the fall. And so they're held twice a year, and they are announced on our Career Center's website, and you'll see flyers all over campus. I highly recommend taking advantage of the Career Center here. We have one that's just for engineering majors. They do mock interviews. They'll review your resume for you. They're really good at helping our students get positions. They're very connected with industry, so they talk to industry representatives about what they're looking for on resumes or in interviews. And so it's really great to go in there and get some of that experience from them, because they can really help you with figuring out what you're missing, or what skills you should be highlighting on your resume. I already sent my transcript, but I forgot to send undergraduate degree and mark sheet. So I send it now, or can I bring it when I arrive at UH? So you could do either one, as long as it's in a sealed envelope from your university. You can bring it with you, or you can have your university send it early. If that is the only hold left on your account, I highly recommend having your university send it early so that you can get registered in classes. But you can also bring it with you when you arrive at UH. The graduate school will have, especially that week before classes, they'll have scheduled times when you can come bring your documents to them. They'll review them and make certified copies and give the originals back to you. Some lectures have online and face-to-face option for the course. What are the difference between these two? Do international students have any restrictions on taking classes online? That's a great question. Yes, they do. So in any given semester, no more than 50% of your courses can be online. Usually that means only taking one online course per semester. And if you have, in your final semester, if you have only one course left, it has to be a face-to-face course. So you can't ever be taking only online courses. But you can take, a mixture of the two. Usually for most of our courses, the online option will be recordings of the lectures that are done face-to-face. So you will get the same instruction. And then you will also have access to the professor's office hours and to ask them questions through email and that sort of thing. So it really depends on your learning style and what works best for you. Personally, I found face-to-face has always been better for me for learning in courses. But if you have a course that you think that you will be fine with online, that's certainly okay too. Will it be all right if I bring the original transcript and degree certificate while I arrive at UH, or do I need to send it before? So I answered that question just a moment ago, but to reiterate, either one is fine. If you wait until you arrive at UH, you won't be able to register until you get here, so you do want to keep that in mind. But if you are, say, in the industrial engineering department, you won't be able to register until you get here anyway, so it may not be that big of a deal for you. Can we select electives from the B school? I'm assuming you mean business, maybe? The business school? And yes, most of our departments do allow students to take business classes on their degree plans, but it's going to be very dependent on which degree plan you're on, so you should talk to your academic advisor about that. Should we bring only transcripts or even original documents too? You do need to bring original documents. Well, I guess it depends on what your university is able to provide you with. If you can get sealed copies of original documents, then that's fine. If you, for example, we have students who have to bring a mixture of things, so they have their mark sheets in a sealed envelope, but then they only have one copy of their degree certificate, and their university won't issue a new one that's in a sealed envelope. So in that case, you would bring that original document with you. Are there good chances to get on-campus jobs for new students? How does the process for on-campus job work? So that goes through the campus pathways that I was talking about a little while ago. There are lots of jobs on campus, everything from working for dining services. There's, a lot of our students work for other colleges as TAs or what we call IAs, which is instructional assistant. Those are usually lab assistants for undergraduate labs. And so there's a lot of different opportunities. Some of the opportunities will provide you with a in-state tuition waiver. If you have not received a scholarship, you can get an in-state tuition waiver through getting employment as an RA or a TA or an IA. But there are lots of other positions. For example, GA, which stands for Graduate Assistant, does not provide you with a tuition waiver. And the reason behind this is that in order to get the tuition waiver, whatever job you're doing has to be related to your degree. So research and teaching assistantships are usually more related to what you're getting your degree in. Graduate assistantship positions or GAs are usually more like office work, or you might be doing database or website work for a department or a college on campus. And it may not be less related to what your actual degree is in. So if you need more information about that, let me know, and I'll try to get you some more specifics. But there are chances to get on-campus jobs for your first semester. I also highly recommend talking to current students when you get here about where they have found positions. As they graduate and leave, those positions become open again. So you may want to consider networking with your fellow students to find jobs on campus. Okay. I have admission in MSIE. If I choose my electives from the B school, will my in-state waiver still be available? Yes, it doesn't matter which courses you take as long as they fit on your degree plan. And so you'll need to talk to your advisors in industrial engineering about what courses you can take outside of the department. I do believe, I'm not 100% sure, but I do believe industrial allows courses from the business school. And so you'll be able to keep your in-state tuition waiver as long as you're registered for 12 credit hours. How many times can we apply for a reduced course load? So really once in your final semester, you can apply for a reduced course load. If you're having issues well, let me explain reduced course load. For those of you who don't know, that just means that you can take fewer courses than the full-time requirement of 9 credit hours. And so, for example, if you take 12 hours in your first semester, 12 hours in your second semester, and then you only have 6 hours left for your last semester, you can use a reduced course load form to have what they call full-time equivalency. So you're not, you're still maintaining your status as an international student, but you're taking less than a full-time load. And generally, students are only allowed to do this in their last semester when they have fewer than 9 credit hours left on their degree. Although there are some other options for students who are struggling academically, especially in their first semester, and need to drop down their course load. Or if you need to, if you have a medical excuse or something like that, they will do a reduced course load for you. Are there any kind of restrictions on-campus jobs for international students? So no, there are not. As long as you're working on campus, you can work in any job on campus. The only restrictions are for working off campus. And so you have to be going through a CPT program in order to work off campus as a student. And we do offer CPT programs here through our co-op program that's run through the Career Center. And in order to be eligible for those, you do have to have completed one academic year at UH. And so the earliest that fall 2018 admits will be eligible is next summer. Okay, I have 9 months work experience in the mechanical industry. Will that be helpful to get an assistantship under a professor? It could be. Really, the biggest thing is that you find somebody who shares your research interests and is willing to help supervise you. It's a lot harder to get an assistantship as a master's student. Most of them go to PhD students first, but your best bet in that case would be if that professor was supervising your thesis and also wanted to, needed your help in the lab. If they feel that your work experience qualifies you to work in their lab, then yes. And I think to answer your second question or any on-campus job, having had work experience before will definitely help you get a job on campus. My academic advisor has shipped my I-20 using the free option. Today is the end of the 3rd week since it is shipped. Which courier service is used in the free shipping option? So the problem with the free option is that there's no tracking information, and it's sent through the United States Postal Service. So it's sent really the slowest way possible. And unfortunately, we can't reissue your I-20 or send a new one until it's been 8 weeks since it was shipped. So if it does take that long and you still haven't received it, let us know. At that point, you would have to pay to have one expedited to you so that we could track it. And unfortunately, once it gets to another country, we have no control over what service then uses it. Most of the ones that I've seen have gone from USPS to DHL. So it may be that it is through DHL, but it could also be through your home country's postal service. So that's a really hard question to answer. Okay, so the next question is, I have 30 credit hours in space architecture for 3 semesters. Am I allowed to finish the credit hours in 2 semesters? Would the fee structure change? So yes, you could take 15 credit hours a semester. You'd have to get special permission for that from your academic advisor in order to do that, because there's a 13 credit hour enrollment limit on your account, and so you would need your academic advisor to manually enroll you in the final course. The fee structure would technically change. I think actually in the long run, it would be slightly cheaper because you'd be paying less in fees. But so tuition is charged on a credit hour basis. So per credit hour that you take. Well, and if you take more credit hours in a semester, your tuition will go up, but your fees will stay the same. So it will cost more in the short term per semester, but overall for your entire degree, it would be slightly cheaper. Can you please let me know if I can work as an RATA if I've opted for a non-thesis program? We don't have any actual criteria that requires that you be a thesis student. It is easier to get an RA if you're a thesis student because you would be working under your major professor. For TAs, we don't really hire master students within the College of Engineering for TAs, but we do have students that work as instructional assistants in the College of Technology. And I don't think that they limit that to thesis students. Non-thesis students are eligible for that as well. Okay, so I've gotten to the end of the questions, but I'm going to wait a few minutes just to make sure nobody's typing right now a final question or two. If you do have any more questions, please go ahead and put them in right now. You're also more than welcome to email me and to ask your questions after the webinar, and I'll try to get back to you as soon as I can today. Let's see, how to get converted to a PhD program in first year. So the real way to do that is to find a professor who is willing to supervise you as a PhD student. If you can find a faculty member willing to take you as a PhD student, the paperwork part is easy. So that's really the hardest part, is finding that advisor. And some of the best ways that I've seen students do that is through your initial coursework. So that first semester, that first year, those classes that you're taking, get to know the professors who are most interesting to you or are doing the most interesting research. If you do well in their courses, they're more likely to accept you as a PhD student. I've seen a lot of master's students move up to the PhD program that way. And so that's really one of the best ways to do it, is just to get to know those professors. So I'm just going to wait another minute or two in case there's another question. But I'll go ahead and thank everybody for participating. You guys are going to have a much easier experience when you get here, having had your questions answered and being able to kind of talk to each other, hear each other's questions is always really good. Okay, I've received my 20. So when can I apply for the further steps? So it's really going to depend. The visa process and how long it takes and everything is really going to depend on where you are, where the closest U.S. embassy is, and what their process is. So you may want to look at their website or contact somebody at the embassy to find out that information. I highly recommend doing it as soon as possible because it can take several months to get your visa. I've seen students take a week. I've seen students take 4 months. So it just really depends on where you are and that embassy's process. Do I need to search for internship in the summer personally, or where the Career Committee assist us? So you do have to do your own search, but the Career Center does post positions on their job board, so you'll have access to that. You can also go in and talk to the Career Center about where other students have gotten internships. Maybe they can give you some ideas. Current students are also a good resource for that. Students who have worked in internships know which companies are hiring international students for internships. So you definitely want to network and talk to them as well. But ultimately, the search for the internship is up to you. We try to do everything we can to assist and to help you with that. But in the end, it's going to be up to you. So I think the next question is about deadline for the visa. As far as the university is concerned, we want you to get it as soon as possible so that you're ready to go and you can come here. But there's no specific deadline. It's just that you have no idea how long it's going to take. So it's best to start as soon as possible. Okay. For space architecture to convert 30 hours to 15 hours, do I request Cecily or Dr. Benova? So Cecily is the one who would actually go into the system and enroll you. She may request that you get Dr. Benova's signature to make sure that it's okay with her that you're taking 15 credit hours. But Cecily is the one who will actually do the processing and enroll you in that course. Okay, so I'm just going to wait another minute or two in case there's another question. If you haven't already, I highly recommend that you watch the previous webinars, especially the ones for fall 2018. But if you want to, you can go back and watch ones for previous semesters. Most of the rules and process have stayed the same, especially for the last year or so. So you may want to go back and see if somebody asked a question that's been kind of going around in your head, or if I covered a topic during the webinar that's interesting to you. And so we have another question. When will I be able to change non-thesis to thesis option? So you'll be able to do that as soon as you find a thesis advisor. And once you have someone willing to supervise your research, you get their signature on a piece of paper and take it to your advisor, and they will switch you to the thesis option. It is best really to do that by the end of your first semester or really early in the beginning of your second semester, because you need to start taking research hours and working on that thesis. If you don't have an advisor by the end of your first semester, it could really prolong how long it takes you to finish your degree, because most students take a full year of doing research and writing their thesis. So you want to hopefully do that by the end of your first semester. If not, the beginning of your second semester. And the reason I say that is some professors want to see your initial semester grades before they're willing to accept you as a student. Okay, so I'm just going to wait one more minute, because we're almost to our hour anyway. You guys have all been asking some really good questions. I hope that you've all learned from each other as much as from me, because I think it's really good in this type of format to see the other questions other students are asking. You may not have thought of something that somebody else has been really worried about. And so it's always great to be able to have these sorts of conversations and to talk about these issues in a group like this. I hope you also use the Facebook group to talk to each other and to talk to current students. So that Facebook group's been around for about a year. So all of the students who came in previously in the last couple of semesters are still members of that group and can answer questions. And then I hope that, you will do the same next semester when you are a continuing student. You can help the new students that are coming in by answering these same questions that they're also going to have. But since there hasn't been another question, I'm going to go ahead and end here. Thank you again for participating. It's really, really exciting to have these kind of conversations. And I am going to stop sharing my screen with you and say goodbye now. Thank you all. Goodbye.